Yum. All rise, order in the court, and happy Taco Tuesday already, Mikey. My God.
Wow. Look at us just burning through the week. It's already Tuesday.
Amazing.
How do we do it?
Right.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, it is Taco Tuesday. A busy day over here. We're already ready for, so this is Washington State, right? Where all the apples come from.
That's right. Not the ones that my wife likes. She likes the
She like them tiny little knobby ones.
No, man, they're expensive.
Oh, jeez.
I just remember the name of it now. Honey Crisp, is it?
Oh my, yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah, Honey Crisp,
and they're a lot more expensive, especially because they're just throw them away anyway. So just get some apples.
I bought some bananas yesterday, and I'm hoping, because I've gotten smart in my old age. I don't buy like a bunch of bananas. I'll buy like one banana, or two bananas.
That's like, I used to see old people like take just a few grapes and put them in a bag.
Like, I know I'm not going to eat a whole bunch, but I will get to one or two.
Do you buy them green and then hope for the best that you want a banana when they're like perfectly ripe, or do you buy them right?
Sometimes there's nothing but green. You get there and it's like, I have to like rip them open with my mouth like I'm Tarzan. I'm just ripping into them because you can't pop them because they're so unripe yet.
Are you talking about her boobs, or are you talking about?
Oh, I didn't even know her boobs weren't right. Not embarrassed of boobs. I learned at a very young age not to be embarrassed of boobs. So I'm glad that finally at your ripe age you have figured it out as well.
No shaming of boobs around here, I promise you that. Leather and Lashes, welcome. Good to see everybody jumping in. What do we got today? Anything other than the fact that we're in the state of apples?
Well, we got 2 TPOs today. Count them 2. The first one has probably my favorite attorney of all time representing. And if he's not your favorite after this case, you might want to rethink your priorities, my friend. Might want to rethink them. Good to see everybody, though. Glad you're here.
Let's jump in with Mr. Stupid.
Yes, Mr. Stupid.
Hey, you so stupid.
Please raise their right hands. And do each of you swear that the testimony that you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I'm lying through the whole thing.
Okay, and Mr.
Nice head fan right here, by the way, like straight to the head. That would annoy the living crap out of me, by the way. Straight.
It's just blowing you.
Mr. Stupin, as the petitioner, you get to go first.
He's so stupid.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You talk stupid too.
So we've submitted some evidence. I'm hopeful that you had an opportunity to review it. So I will not be going through each one in great detail as you requested. But in summary, we're here with my wife and on behalf of my minor children to seek a permanent restraining order against Mr. Kinnard. We're compelled to seek this action because of consistent and escalating series of events.
One for the entire family?
I don't think that we've ever seen this where you're like representing the children as well to go after
the family dog. We've all been through it. Each and every one of us. The guy that delivers our mail. We've been through hell.
Did I get it right? Yeah, Honey Crisp. But they're expensive, correct? I believe.
Harassment and threat, and the cumulative effect of all of these things have placed my family and I and our children in this state of apprehension for our well-being. So Mr. Kinnard, through his attorney, filed in his statement an admission that he has in fact made a statement to end me. While he disagrees in its interpretation, you can see how those statements would contribute to our concerns for our well-being. While I'm capable of defending myself individually, the nature of my work is such that I'm absent from home quite a bit, and my wife and my kids are home alone, and I'm concerned for their safety as well. What's even more concerning is what seems to be photographing and videoing of minor children in the privacy of our backyard, and specifically in the hot tub. I understand Mr. Kinnard has
Whoa.
That took a turn for the worse there.
Humble effing brag. A hot tub just for the children? Jeez Louise. Oh yeah, and he's making accusations that this guy's taking photos of the fam in the backyard and the hot tub.
Did load for anybody else? I just checked it. It sounds fine on my end, but every device is different.
Oh no.
Just wondering.
You ever been in a hot tub, Creed?
Heck yeah. Every cabin we always get got a hot tub. So
You ever done it in a hot tub, Creed?
Probably.
Yeah, my man.
Most likely. You never know.
Issues with us, whether construction related or parking concerns and typical neighbor to neighbor disputes. I acknowledge that, and I understand he has a path forward to address those, either through the homeowners association or the local government or the sheriff's departments. However, this is significantly above and beyond that. The intensity, the unpredictability, the emotional outbursts, the cursing, the threats, and the photographing of children, as indicated by a number of witnesses that we submitted testimony for or statements for, is of particular concern. Ultimately, Your Honor, we just want to be left alone. We're requesting that the court would grant a no contact order for Mr. Kinnard, that the court would prohibit Mr. Kinnard from recording or videoing our family and the children and disseminating any such material that he may have or have in the future. And if Mr. Kinnard possesses any weapons, that we would respectfully request that he would surrender those, or the court would consider issuing an order for such surrender in order to alleviate our safety concerns. We have contacted the police department, and they're pretty much saying that a restraining order is what they would enforce. And so this is our attempt to protect my family and my minor children. So I'm
if they did have a restraining order, as he calls it, it being the neighbor, I mean, if he's standing up there like taking video, how do you still?
I mean, how do you like say something like, "Oh no, don't be"? He could be like, talking on his phone. He's like, "Yeah, man, you know," and then they're like, "Hey, you're recording us, you perv, you dirty perv." Not you. No, not you.
Not you.
This guy's got kind of an accent. I can't quite place it. I'm thinking maybe Mississippi, maybe Georgia.
I was thinking more around Bama.
Considering that the court would grant this request and issue a permanent restraining order against Mr. Kinnard.
So like more like New Hampshire, you mean?
I did have an opportunity not only to review your petition, but
or in the New England region, maybe. What's that?
Encompasses what?
Like Connecticut, maybe.
Declarations that were submitted as part of your exhibits in the case, which are several statements from witnesses. So, Mr. Stupin, before I hear from Mr. Kinnard's attorney and him, is there anything else you feel that I need to know before they tell their side of it?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Taninga, I'll turn it over to you. You can present this however you'd like.
Got a big hole to dig yourself out of.
No dispute from what Mr. Stupin is saying that there has.
Wow, look at that mop. That's a head of hair, ladies and gentlemen.
That is our attorney, Creed.
Yeah, it's all right.
Do you think? Where do you think he found this attorney? By the way?
Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. I don't know.
Is this a guy like he plays Dungeons and Dragons with? And he's like, "Look, man, I gotta go to court." He's like, "I got you, bud. You gonna cut your hair?" Hell no.
By the way, I was thinking some old dude, balding, glasses for our neighbor, but he's
no. We just got the really weird guy who I don't think barely moves the entire time that we're sitting here. By the way, the attorney, same haircut I had when I was in 2nd grade. 4 big uns over there, and we got a case.
Has been a history between these individuals. There have been legal disputes between these individuals going back quite a few years. And the fact that Mr. Kennard has stated that there have been violations of the terms of the homeowners association. There has been a shed that Mr. Stupin has built that has been had to be modified to be in accordance with the law.
Joe.
There have been concerns that Mr. Kennard had, that when brought before the homeowners association, Mr. Kennard was informed that there was nothing that he could do. Therefore, Mr. Kennard took steps to mitigate that and went about his day as a citizen should.
All right, so a shed that was built so maybe this neighbor who's accusing this guy of taking pictures and stuff with the kid,
Mr. Kennard,
maybe pissed him off because a new build or a new shed or something had to be modified, money spent. Is this where we're going with this? Is this
maybe. You think a slight vendetta? I mean, we're bringing in the homeowners association. This guy's trying to, go by the letter of the law. Interesting.
Some of the statements that Mr. Stupin filed, notably the ones from Mr. I'm going to butcher these last names, Mr. Shevchuk and Mr. Zhuk.
Got it.
Mr. Kennard was going about taking pictures of license plates. And Mr. Kennard was not doing this for the purposes of any malicious intent, but was for evidentiary reasons, for the purposes of the for enforcing the laws of the area.
No,
Mr.
HOA
Kennard being named here today by Mr. Stupin for the purposes of enforcing the laws of the area. Mr. Kennard has no criminal history, has no criminal actions, and has no possession of these illicit images that Mr. Stupin is claiming he has.
Wait, illicit?
Yeah, I guess he's accusing them of, I guess kids are in the hot tub. I guess that would be.
But does that constitute illicit photos, though? I mean, he's saying it. I don't think the other dude said that.
Well, he said that's what Mr. Stupid had put in his, I guess, all his paperwork and whatnot. I didn't bring it up. He didn't go as far as calling it illicit, but
well, that when using that term, though, I think
it's kind of scary. Yeah, it's kind of like, ooh,
right. Like we don't have bathing suits on, kind of
thing. You really made some accusations that are rocking him to the core.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
And threats of filing of a police report against Mr. Kennard for the possession of child pornography.
Whoa! Double L, member for 4 months. Don't
Whoa! He come in with, well, there's your answer, Crean. That's boy, oh boy. Hope you don't say that again.
Like Mr. Stupin should have been saying this stuff.
Yeah, why is his attorney bringing it up?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's making this a lot. The lawyer is making this sound a whole lot worse than the guy that brought it to us. Is what I mean.
We're saying illicit photos. Now we're using the terrible verbiage. So now,
Jesus, stop it.
Mr. Kennard denies any of these allegations. There have been claims from the 3 young ladies in the hot tub that a flash went off from his camera. And did no such thing. This was a hot.
Wait, how old is this camera is using?
Is he got a camera? Is he out there like with the old timey ones?
Yeah,
you
put the whole thing
just explodes.
You got to go in.
You got to throw the thing over.
You got like a whole tent over your head, kind of thing.
All right, ladies, go ahead. I mean, do we really use those kinds of cameras for stealthy bikini pics?
In summer, Mr. Kennard was in his back patio on a hot summer day waiting for the house to cool down, consuming, as he noted in his declaration, a non-alcoholic drink. I did not prepare that declaration for him. It was Mr. Kennard who included that detail. And Mr. Kennard was approached by Mr. Stupin first, and Mr. Stupin instigated this incident on the word of Miss Coral, Miss Popko, and Miss Stupina. All of these young ladies having arranged their story ahead of time to
Are we saying a frame job?
Mr. Stupin into this. Mr. Stupin is himself not an eyewitness to the allegation. These four ladies claim that Mr. Kennard engaged in such a behavior. Mr. Kennard has here his cell phone and has a number of pictures that I am more than happy to show to the court. Unfortunately, Mr. Stupin is not here, so I cannot present it to him. But there is no pictures of these young ladies on his phone whatsoever.
So, I mean, you can't. That's not.
Feel free to go through my phone. There is not one photo of a girl from Cherries and Sneed's Ferry. I mean, go right ahead. Look.
Right. Never snapped any of those. Just look at my phone. It's
Just look at my phone. I think that's all the proof you need, Judge.
that's not a
World's worst attorney.
Gary, thank you. Yeah, so far he's made this case look terrible. I think, and I could be wrong, and maybe they're gonna maybe he's gonna get back on this train, but I'm not sure.
Your Honor. I hate to say this, Mr. Stupin's made tons of accusations, and I'd like to go ahead and say my client never murdered anyone in a gas station in El Segundo. I'm telling you now,
look at this.
It did not happen. Would not happen.
Gary, where are you?
Hot summer's day.
I guess I'm just getting the feeling that that he has he's made Mr. Stupin pissed off. Going and complaining about certain things. Now, is Mr. Stupin going to make up a bunch of stuff and to take him this far just to really make his life miserable, or did this stuff happen? I don't know, but the lawyer is not doing a great job pointing that out. He's made it sound a lot worse than Mr. Stupin did.
He never did push-ups with no shirt on.
I have instructed Mr. Kennard not to delete any pictures from his phone at the moment that I spoke with him, so that the evidence would remain clear. He does have a number of pictures of the vehicles from that day, and that was for the communication with code enforcement for RCW
Stupin
15.07.070, which states that it is illegal for the bioswells, which are in front of his property, which is Mr. Kennard's duty to maintain.
Bioswell? Anybody?
Ain't that movie that had Pauly Shore?
Yes, with the dome.
One of the Baldwins in it. They lived in the bioswell for a while, and it was really good. And they had sex with really hot girls while they were in there.
They are channels designed to concrete and convey. Hold on. Oops, wrong one.
Sounds like a ditch.
Concrete and convey stormwater runoff while removing debris and pollution. Bioswells can also be beneficial in recharging something.
So he's taking pictures of people who are parking in front of it. Is that what I'm getting?
That's they was just getting ready to say that they both have to take care. I don't know.
With that these vehicles are not permitted to park there. We have here Mr. Stupin's guests trespassing on Mr. Kennard's property. And now here the law is being used to persecute the Mr. Kennard, who is the one who is attempting to enforce the laws.
Brett?
These actions by Mr. Stupin do not rise to the level of preponderance of the evidence. There has been a previous incident where an accusation was made. This was back in 2022. Mr. Stupin met with Sarah.
Thank you very much to Lisa B with Fa.
Remember that party they had in that bioswell? I mean, they trashed the ecosystem. And the one guy went crazy. But they made out with those girls the whole time. They were like ready.
Mr. Kennard's wife, Mr. Kennard, at a public place, and they discussed it as reasonable people would, and no escalation was necessary. The court was not involved. The police were not involved. When I read that a temporary order was granted in this case, it did not surprise me based on the fact of the statement, "I will end you." However, provided the greater context, as Mr. Stupin noted, the statement, "I will sue you, I will take you to court, I will sue you, and I will end you." And Your Honor, that's exactly where we are. Based on Mr. Kennard's statement, "I will take you to court, I will sue you, and I will end you." Mr. Kennard is a very legalistic man. He understands
He just
law, and he wishes
admit
to
saying it.
And that is what we are seeking here today. We do not wish any ills against Mr. Stupin or his family. There is a 6-foot privacy fence between these two properties. However,
better than mine.
Construction of the hot tub on Mr. Stupin's residence, some manner of base needed to be constructed under that hot tub, a concrete base, and then some manner of wooden base under that to place the hot tub on, and then the hot tub on top of that. So the 6-foot fence.
It's sitting on layers upon layers upon layers. This thing.
This is a 6-foot tall hot tub.
Right.
You've got to climb up like one of those things, like you're going like off a diving board almost to get in this hot tub. It takes forever to get up that thing.
Obviously, Mr. Stupin was at the state fair then, right? Because that's where the only place you go and buy hot tubs, correct? At state
Absolutely.
fair.
No one actually ever goes out and buys one.
Right.
My question is this. We talked about this out in public meeting, and the lawyer just admitted that he said he put two other things in front of it, but the last thing was, "I will end you." Again, reiterating what Mr. Stupid said.
Right.
We changed their names just so they would feel, not threatened.
Is no longer able to function as easily or as well as it did to provide privacy before, based on Mr. Stupin's actions. Mr. Kennard cannot be the one made to suffer for Mr. Stupin's actions. If a 10-foot fence is necessary, a 10-foot fence is necessary. Mr. Kennard has just recently informed me, and I have not been able to provide this in declaration to court, that he is now taking new steps to provide for privacy between the two houses at his own expense. And if that is what is necessary to avoid a restraining order in this case, then that is necessary. However, I do not believe that that Mr. Stupin's allegations or Ms. Stupina's allegations rise to the level of preponderance of the evidence based on the fact that Mr. Stupin is just repeating the words provided to him by his daughter. Thank you, Your Honor.
10-foot fence, that's got to be expensive.
All right.
That's high.
Now,
It's like prison walls.
Right?
Allegations were raised.
I'm really on the 6-foot fence on this one. I don't know.
Thank God you ain't on the 6-foot hot tub, because that could get messy. I mean, unless there's something judges got that we haven't seen. I mean, even with the bad lawyer.
Yeah.
But a 10-foot fence, what an eyesore. You better check with the HOA and make sure that's all right.
I couldn't imagine being next to a 10. Even that's just
that's as tall as the house. That's a whole
right.
story.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who to believe either, because again, he just didn't paint a very good picture. The lawyer did. Mr. Stupin now it almost seems like it was less of a case that he threw out there, and then all of a sudden we got all of this opened up. It's just
we brought in like all kinds of really weird stuff that could have been going.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he takes this, or if anybody has any
The
questions.
petition in this case are they're serious allegations. They're allegations that the court has to give strong consideration to, because this is the type of situation that orders like this were designed to address. A lot of times petitions like this are filed in the court where one neighbor is filing against another. And in a lot of cases like that, these are ordinary, just life conflicts that any neighbors would have. And people are under the impression that the court can manage a neighborhood relationship. And they think that the resolution to their problems is to come to court instead of talking to each other or acting, in consistently with how people need to act if they're going to live together in proximity. And those cases are different because those cases are generally not threatening or alarming or, pose any risk to anybody. But the court does take this matter seriously. I understand that there are underlying conflicts between the parties relating to how the parking situation works and the swales. I get that. I understand how those are sensitive areas. I also understand that enforcing the rules in a neighborhood that is subject to covenants through a homeowners association can be another source of friction between parties. And that may very well be the case here. That's what it sounds like. But I'm not focusing on that so much. I understand that's sort of the context here, but none of that by itself or together would cause the court to issue an order. But if there is behavior of, photographing minor girls in a hot tub surreptitiously, that is something that Mr. Stupin and his wife are entitled to be concerned about with regard to the safety of their family, and is the kind of thing that the court can offer protection for. What I have to look at, though, is all the evidence. I've got the declarations of the girls themselves, the declarations of Mr. Stupin and Miss Stupina. I have,
very quickly. So you had mentioned, if the judge has anything that we don't, forgot about that. And Mr. Stupin did say that in the beginning.
Is his wife named Miss Stupina? He said Mr. Stupin and Miss Stupina.
That would be oddly close. No,
that's really cool.
Anyway,
Stupina.
The kids, so the minor girls that they're talking about, I guess wrote out their side of the story.
Well, here's another thing. Mr. Kennard's over there, he does give off a creepy vibe, allegedly.
Yeah, a little.
He's very, like, I don't know, awkward, weird.
Is that like proper English, Griggsy? Is that what you're teaching us? You're learning us? Okay.
Well, I had no idea that one was female and one was
musculature.
So again, it should be kind of I don't know. I think judge is going to give it to him, but it's going to be so hard to enforce.
I would
crazy
think so,
hard.
Well, good luck. Oh, it's Russian.
No, well,
we were close.
Nice.
The declaration of Mr. Kennard in response to this and his arguments that partly explain and partly deny. So what I have to do is look at those facts and then the inferences from those facts, because it's really the inferences that are leading us from what people observed, which the girls describe in their declarations as Mr. Kennard sitting on his deck or patio, and he had his phone with him, and that they saw the light on the phone. And that's all facts. Those are not inferences. And then from that, inferring that he was recording them. Is that a reasonable inference? Well, when this case came to court with Mr. Stupin's petition for protection order, I thought so. I thought they were at least at that time and under the circumstances as I knew them at that time, appropriate to infer that something was going on there that merited protection. But the rules of cases like this are different when they're presented to the court ex parte with only one party present. And a hearing like this, the reason we have hearings like this is that there are always at least two sides to every story. There's always the opportunity that someone has to present their own version of the facts. And that may mean that things are different than initial impressions warrant. So what I'm looking at here in terms of the strength of those inferences, I agree with Mr. Taninga's argument that they do not, by a preponderance of the evidence, rise to the level of making the inference that these photographs of these girls were being taken. Nothing else. I don't find any of the other evidence surrounding this to bolster those inferences. So in other words, those inferences are essentially coming to me at face value. So given that the requirement is to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that the behavior occurred, in this case, the allegations of recording the girls in the hot tub, I can't make that inference but by a preponderance of the evidence.
Whoa.
So the end result of that is going to be that the petition for the anti-harassment order will be denied.
Wow.
Now, in doing that, though, I will say this, and I'm sure, Mr. Kennard, you'll hear more about this after you and Mr. Taninga leave the courtroom and talk about this. You're still neighbors, and there's still continuing interactions between the parties here. And if Mr. Stupin were to come back and tell me that there's more evidence of taking pictures of underage girls in the hot tub, this will look different. Okay, but if this was a misunderstanding, if this was just you sitting out there and, you know, coincidentally the girls were out there, then there shouldn't be any more issues. Okay, so everything happens in context, and these situations occur over a period of time. I'm talking about finding that there's any.
So we jumped right into it. Yeah, okay. So that was interesting. I guess that alone was not enough. We needed some harassment there, a little more.
I thought it was interesting though. Creedy said just by looking at the case before they even started, he was like, "Oh yeah, this is a slam dunk." But then, after hearing, I guess the lawyer did a better job than we thought.
I think he might have opened up. Yeah, I think we were a little bit hard on the mop head. I think he actually won it. I really do. And you're right. After what he had said with that, so
I mean, that's again, you know, we're not lawyers, and that's why the channel isn't Law Talk with Mikey and Creed. So yeah, well, that's an interesting one. We'll see how that. I don't think that's going to work out too well. Still,
no,
we'll see.
Oh no, they're going to be back in for some bad violence.
Russian mafia probably dropping by Mr. Kernad's house. So yeah, the next one's going to be this lady here, by the way.
Yeah, I'll talk with Mike.
Excuse for that. I haven't heard anything, so I'm going to deny your request for a continuance, and we're going to go ahead and proceed with this.
Yeah, this guy wanted a continuance, by the way.
All right, before we start, though, I'm going to ask
Wait
both
till you see
parties
him.
to raise their right hands. And do you both swear that the testimony that you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
All right. So in this case, Ms. Colley is the petitioners bearing the burden of proof. So Ms. Colley, go ahead and
She wants a
present your
TPO
side.
against this guy. I think
Well,
maybe they
Your
were
Honor,
lovers.
You mentioned
I don't know.
before that everything you read through the petition, so I don't have to repeat myself.
I won't know. Hey, Chris. I'm going to vote no. This gives me, I'm going to say it so we get lots of views. This gives me vibes of, remember the girl that was like, what, the pottery classes and stuff? Remember, you know, that, remember that one? That's not like
Another young girl being harassed by an old feller that just can't. You sure do look pretty today.
I could see him just walking out of a mine saying, "Hey, baby."
Hey, baby, how you doing? Looking good.
I think it's creepy old brother. Hi, Ernest.
That's great.
What happened. But I do think that since filing and since he was served with it, He came down right away and went right outside of my office within 3 minutes of being served. He then started emailing corporate, basically telling them that he did not want to obey the court order. So I think that getting a permanent order is not unreasonable, considering that I just don't want him to damage my truck. Was $95,000 when I bought it. It's my dream vehicle. I don't want him damaging it. He's already tried to damage it. I don't want to be harassed when I go to my job. I'm not asking that he move. I'm not saying that he can't do business, but I would like his interactions with me to be I would like there to be no interactions with me. I would like them to be with my leasing agent, which my corporate office has expressed to him in writing that he needs to talk to my leasing agent, and be limited to business interactions only. I don't think that he needs to follow me around and be wherever I am, and again, touch my property. So I don't need to go through the whole.
I thought she was going to say something different there, but you know.
$95,000 truck.
Yeah, we're hanging up on that, no less. Not thinking about the fact that I guess he was served, and then 3 minutes later he's right there.
I like that he. You know what? I want to stay consistent, if nothing else. You give me this, I'm going to show up 3 minutes later down there. It sounds like she works where he lives.
Yeah,
or
he
has an office in the same building that he has a mining company out of. I don't know.
He does. This might be a little bit tricky because she's like, well, I want all the other stuff to stop, but he can still keep on doing business with me, though.
Right. I don't care about the business aspect. Just the don't come near me and stop touching my property.
Yeah, you buy the $95,000 truck. You imagine what else?
He's out there rubbing up against it.
$95K.
Maybe that's his dream car too.
Maybe. I could never in a million years.
Your payments would be like, my God, they'd have to be like,
couldn't imagine,
thousands of dollars a month.
Oh, this is crazy to me.
Petition again. There definitely was a confrontation between him and I. And he just was his reaction was so crazy. It's not normal. So I just would like to be able to come to my job in peace and not be harassed and not have to worry about my property being damaged.
Okay. Is there anything else that you feel like I need to know before I let Mr. Sarbacher tell me his side?
No.
No, this ought to be good.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sarbacher, it's your turn to tell me your side.
Unmute, please.
Mr. Sarbacher,
the profanity that's coming out of his mouth right now.
I apologize.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
You were just talking of a
I
store.
went and was walking my dog, and I stopped in the parking lot, and just happens to be behind her vehicle. I did not know at the time it was her vehicle. I did not touch or set on her vehicle at any time. And the confrontation that was started there was because she came out and started yelling at me. I don't follow her around as she has just suggested. I did make a request. When I first moved in, their advertisement shows a courtyard. I thought that would be nice out to the courtyard. My dog is a service animal.
Thank you,
The first time I've come in contact with Leia, she's yelling at me to get my dog out of that court.
Leia.
Come on, I want to Leia. So he is staying in this place
that advertised the courtyard.
Advertised the courtyard that apparently she is running this place. You know, he said, I'm out here just in the courtyard. Let my dog do his business. And she comes out here and starts yelling at me.
What could the dog and him be? I want to hear what the thing was happening.
Can we talk to the dog?
Is that possible?
I tried to explain to her that it's a service animal. She said, she told me not to test her or I will lose my housing.
Ooh.
So I immediately bought me a body camera. That's why the videos, so that I could protect myself against her. The day I was out by her vehicle
Okay.
was completely random. Up until that day, I had absolutely no idea what she drove, or even if she had a vehicle at all. The videos that I tried to submit shows that I was not following her around, that I was just going about my daily business. And then she writes me up for sitting on her vehicle.
Oh,
The very next day, I sent a request in for special accommodation that have no contact with her, no direct contact with her, and that all communication from her be put in writing, and her superiors agreed to that. I believe that this petition is retaliation for asking that she have no contact with me.
The other way around. She wants me, Your Honor.
is he muted again?
Is there anything else, Mr. Sauerbacher?
If you would allow me the videos, it would show that I'm not following her. One of the videos,
Listen, from the day that I turned on that body cam, I ain't followed nobody. I've been in my best behavior, Your Honor.
I got that body cam, Your Honor. There's no footage of me following her, believe it or not. Kind of like the guy earlier that has nothing on his phone that would get him in trouble.
Same way,
thing.
Your Honor. Same way.
Thing.
Same way.
makes the comment that I almost run into the wall, but the only way she could have seen me run into that wall is to be viewing me from the surveillance cameras. And that is why she stepped out into the hall, out into the reception hall as I went there. I believe she was trying to intimidate me. Normally, I would have turned around there and talked to the ladies in the library, but because the way she came out, I crossed through the hall so that I would not be blocking her path. I'm not harassing this woman. If anything, she's harassing me.
Yeah, she wants
And
me.
Mr. Sauerbacher, so you know, I did see, because they were actually included with the petition, some emails of yours. I guess you had some email interaction where you made some of these same statements denying that there was any harassment. So I see that you've made these statements before, and they're part of the record too, that you don't believe you were doing any harassing, and you don't believe that you were in any way trying to harm Ms. Cawley's truck.
I didn't even know it was her truck until she came out there.
He had to have done something.
And I wasn't, and I'll admit, I felt threatened.
All right. If he's hanging out on the tailgate, but did he put the tailgate down and sit on it? Is that what we're getting from that? That's what
it seems like maybe he did. Or was he letting the dog like jump up on the truck, or was he walking around it looking at it like, wow, I ain't never seen a $95,000 touch before, and like touching it, messing with it. Maybe.
Can you see her coming out not having the best of the day and going off on him right off the bat, though? Seeing somebody that is...
If you look outside and you see somebody messing with your $95,000 car...
That's what I'm saying, sitting on the back with a dog running around.
I would definitely say something. I mean...
So...
I can't say she's being a bitch.
But I mean, I think I would come out kind of in a...
I would be mad too. I'd be like, hey, watch it, Ernest.
Like that's that, you know, and again, so I kind of believe him that before that they didn't really know each other, but it seems like there's a lot more. There's something I think to this story that we're not.
There's a big missing element.
Yeah, unless she really hates this guy. I don't know. And
I reacted badly toward her coming out there. I will admit that.
Oh,
but I was
little give and take.
There. I didn't come to her.
She come to me.
And then every time we had a confrontation, she came to where I was and created the confrontation.
All right. Well, Mr. Sarbacher, how long have you been a resident out there at the reserve?
I moved in
The reserve.
May 4th.
Be with
That
you.
night I walked around the building and I seen all these no animal signs. I chose to not cross those signs. And then the next day I went and talked to the leasing agent there, and she assured me that yes, I'm quite welcome to go out there with my dog because he's a service animal.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Leah didn't seem to accept that. Even after
Leia.
I told her it was a service animal, she still told me to get out.
Does that move in this year in May?
That was May, of this year. I moved in on May 4th, and the instance with her in the courtyard was June 2nd.
And I said, get away from here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just trying to clarify in my own mind kind of the timelines here, but I know I interrupted you there for a second, Mr. Sarbacher. Was there anything else you wanted to tell me?
I believe all of this action on her is her goal, because she told me if I fought her on this, that I would lose.
Uh-oh.
I think this is her attempt
She'll end you.
to go toward that point where I will lose my house.
The reserve.
All right. Okay, then, Mr. Sarbacher, Ms. Colley, I'm sensitive to the housing issue because, well, for a lot of reasons, but primarily legal ones. This kind of a order, these kind of hearings can't be used to effectively, evict people or remove people from their homes. That's not what they're for. If the reserve or the management or even Ms. Colley wanted you to be evicted or, made to not be able to use your residence, they couldn't do that here this way. They would have to go to Superior Court. There would be an entirely different kind of hearing that could potentially result in an eviction, but not here. And I believe, I know I heard this case when the initial petition came in, and I believe that I did clarify that issue with Ms. Colley because I was concerned about that. And she assured me then that, there wasn't the intention to get you removed, but basically to restrict your interactions with her. And reviewing the emails that went back and forth on this issue and the letters, I guess they're letters, they're formatted like letters. I don't know how they were sent, that describe these incidents, which really happened shortly after you moved in. That the focus that Ms. Colley's focus and concern has been behavior. And I don't see anything in any of these letters or emails that indicate that they're setting you up or that they're trying to get you out of there. I don't see anything to kind of give me that belief or suspicion that, there's just kind of an effort to make your life hard or to evict you, to kind of, make it so that you're unable to use your residence. So I'm looking at this as a conflict that's personal. This is between two parties. This doesn't have anything to do with the residents. And I think that Ms. Colley, she has the burden of showing to the court that Mr. Sarbacher's behavior, either through any of these combination of actions, any threats, any physical violence, any indication of violence toward property, that these are, one, real, that they happened, and two, that they would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress, and that actually does cause emotional distress. And it has to be a pattern of conduct. In other words, a course of conduct, not just one thing that happened, not just a coincidence. And considering the evidence altogether, in total, I do find that Ms. Colley has established that there's been that course of conduct directed at her between you, and that a reasonable person in her position would suffer that emotional distress. She's described it and explained it, and it's consistent with the contemporaneous evidence, which is in these letters and emails and photographs.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to grant her request to have an anti-harassment order, which essentially is the one that was already granted.
Try it anyway.
Putting the shoes on, he's about to walk down there to where she's at and tell her.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the conditions of the order that were granted temporarily for 6 more months.
Oh, 6 months. Okay.
I would like to know how to appeal your decision.
Well, any final decision of this court can be appealed to the Thurston County Superior Court.
Getting his shoes on, about to get down there.
It really is.
Like, he's about to go down and raise some hell, boy.
We'll break that guitar
but again, I'm
over her head.
Make it clear in the order and clarify here on the record that this order in no way restricts Mr. Sarbacher's right to use his residence or the common property there consistently with the rules. This order doesn't change any of that. This is just a limitation on contact and interaction between Mr. Sarbacher and Ms. Colley.
How does that work? Like, he can still be around her and stuff and interact.
He lives where she works. So
that's such a.
I'm sorry, can you explain that better?
Thank you.
Good job.
I guess to make it clear for you, sir, this order, just because this order is going into effect, this doesn't affect your right to be in your home or to use the common property parts of that, like the parking lots or lounges or anything like that.
Library.
So not in any way a restriction on your right to be in your home or use your home as it's, set up in your rental or lease agreement. All this does is prevent personal contact and interaction between you and Miss Colley, whether that's at work, at home, or anywhere.
Almost like it sets up the foundation
So
for
if
him
I'm
to
in an
fail.
area of the building, do I have to leave that area if she walks in?
Well,
according to Griggsy, yes.
I'll tell you what I won't be able to do here is
to make
give you
sense.
advice on what happens in specific situations. But what I will say is that generally speaking, this order doesn't prohibit you from being in any particular places. It prohibits contact with Miss Colley. Okay.
What if I just want a piece of her hair? Is that all right?
She smells so good, Your Honor.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what you mean by contact with her. If that doesn't mean we can't be in the same room.
Yeah, if you take a look at the temporary order, it also says so that you're not to go within 25 feet of her.
25 feet. Keep a measuring tape with you, bud.
My concern is, if I'm in a room and she enters it, does that mean I have to leave?
Yes.
You're within 25 feet of her, yeah.
Thank you.
Our attorney Griggsy said yes.
And he was right.
Oh,
Did he just
close? Did he just die?
Oh, nope. I guess that's the end.
Oh, is the end? I thought he died on us. Whew. All right.
So,
this is the end. Poor old dude's not going to be able to walk around at the reserve. This is the end. Nice place. That's nice. I like that.
It's very hotelish, but
it's also beachy.
Yeah. Nice little place. Though.
Is it near the sea?
I wanted to see. I don't see any $95,000 vehicles there. I'm wondering where you parked at.
You got a special parking spot for that. Does that place like that pay somebody enough, or does she got like sugar daddy money?
No, I would think you'd. I mean, if she's like running the office, there, it depends, I guess, on her.
Yeah, but wouldn't you need to be making like $250,000 a year to be able to afford a car like that? I mean, are you living there for free?
I was just gonna say maybe she lives there for free. You know? Yeah. So that one's an interesting one. Like, I think again, I'm thinking he had he had things to read that had a lot of.
Yeah, he might have seen a couple of nasty grams.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I don't think old Ernest is all that.
He's like, wait, you can see those? I deleted them right after I sent them, so I don't know how you can see them.
But
Ernest.
Oh, Ernest. I don't know. I'd hate to have a protection order against me somewhere where I live and potentially with somebody like that. That's just, you're always going to be on your. I just feel like it's almost like up to Leah, not Leah, that if she really wanted this to go further,
Wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard
not at all.
Be
Not at
real
all.
easy.
She could follow him around every day and just like all of a sudden show up right behind him and say,
"What are you doing
oh,
right
here? You
here?"
are. You've broke it like 3 times. Here's the video.
He
That's-
goes in to
that's scary.
eat at the cafeteria. She walks in right behind him. He's got to turn around and leave and can't eat.
Yeah, I see you guys did a little bit of digging, I believe, on the Facebooks. Find out she's an auto broker and other things. Okay.
The senior community apartments that where Mystic Lady lives, she said there's $350,000 and up. Yikes.
Damn.
I need to put a lot more in my 401k apparently.
I'll be dead before we get to that.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right.
I'm banking on dying too, so let's not.
Never have to worry about it.
I'm invested in dying people.
That's right. Yes. Yep. It's the Don't Be Stupid Express. Gary, where are you? Lisa B with five big gifts. Michael and Gramature. Thank you, guys. See you at 4:05.
That's right. 4:05 Taco Tuesday, they call it. But you know what? It's got a little bit of everything in that taco. So make sure you're there for that. If you haven't already liked the video, do us a huge, oh my God. That's why I can never afford. I can't even afford to go to the burned up part. Too soon? You guys do us a favor. Stay safe. Stay hard. And always stay tuned because all kinds of stuff's coming up.
See you, Luckenbill.
Hey, Ed. Remember that one time, Ed, I said, I'll never forget that. Isn't Ashley the one that said he banged the car?